Hello everyone. So my name is Shivam, and I don't know you know me or not, but I have a YouTube channel named Code Explainer, and I've been asked by your organization Pehia Foundation, very much thank you for them, to give me an opportunity to talk to you all guys, and I have to share my experience about how I started competitive coding, and they have given me a lot of questions to answer. I hope they are from you or. There are general myths about competitive coding and how you should start it. What are different doubts for the beginners? So I have a lot of questions, and I'll try to ask or tell you as much in detail and the explanation how I approach competitive programming problems and all of them. So let's begin everything. So the first problem is, why do you think competitive programming is important, and why should beginners focus on it? Okay, so I think when you're in college, then only you get an exposure to competitive coding. Maybe I don't know, in 11th or 12th or maybe in 10th you have some knowledge what is competitive coding. So, and all those 4 years we just focus on how to crack the interviews of the companies, and we do not actually focus on the actual taste of competitive coding. So I think that competitive coding is very much required. It's just like a sport, and sports are good. You it enhances your capabilities, and I think that if you go a deep dive in competitive coding, then you'll start loving it also. So, for beginners, you should start focusing on as early as possible because it will give you more time to explore the subject. Then, what aroused your interest in competitive coding? Yes. So, how I started competitive coding was in the first year. As you know, that there are different types of coding. There can be development type of coding, and they can be coding in Android, OS, or ML, and competitive coding, as you know. And in all those types of coding, as you might have known if you have some taste on them, the competitive coding thing is very fast. Which means that if you started a project on ML or on development, then it might take some time to complete that project or to showcase that project. But in competitive coding, if you know the syntax, if you know the language, you can just code the problem in just hardly 1 or 2 minutes if you know that problem, and if that problem is easy also. So, but the main thing is that thing is very fast, and there are a lot and lot of contests going on competitive coding, and it's very helpful also. So that will motivates you to do and think over competitive coding a lot. And when you get that first AC now, when you get that first accepted answer, then it's like a dopamine hit, and then you'll go for more problems and more problems, and then it's just like a cycle. Okay, and the next problem is, how worthwhile is investing time in competitive coding rewarding than creating hobbies and open source projects? Okay, investing in competitive coding is very much beneficial, and you can also start developing hobbies. You should not focus on only competitive coding. Okay, I know that you should start to get the deep dive in competitive coding. It's very necessary, but you should also start developing your taste, or starting living your life, because it's not that you should always do competitive coding your whole day, whole night, because that's not, you don't have to go out on a very large journey, or you don't have to do competitive coding for your whole life. But you should know that there's also one subject, competitive coding. So hobbies just make your mind fresh. Open source project will help you communicate with the community, so they are also necessary. I also do that, but in spite of all those work, I also try to balance out the work of competitive coding, because that helps you to it's like a exercise for your brain. If you go out in a gym, it's beneficial for your body, and if you do competitive coding or some mind intensive work, it's beneficial for your health, sorry, your mind. The next problem is, tell us about the mistakes you made in competitive coding. And the list is infinite. I don't know how many mistakes I have done, but I can jot down into 2 3 problems or 2 3 mistakes which I've done. If you are still with me, then I'll tell you. If you are not interested in this video, then it's up to you. But I'll be sharing a lot of information now. So the mistakes which I have done during this journey was, I always try to demotivate myself that I'm not good enough. And yeah, everyone is not good enough. Everyone do not have all the capabilities, all the knowledge to solve all the type of questions. But that's not the end of the story. I am not too good enough, but still I'm talking to you guys. And the thing here is, you just have to focus and think that that my father always say that you don't have to demotivate yourself. The world is there out to demotivate you. Then that thing is very good that you don't actually demotivate yourself. If you are not confident, then don't speak. But if you but don't try to blame yourself. Don't play a blame game. There's also one more thing in competitive coding, that in the initial stages you improve very much, but after that it's just like a plateau. You just go flat and you do not see any improvement, and then at that time you go like, I'm not improving, I'm not better, and so on. So the next thing here is, always try to complete any question. Thing here is that let's assume that you solve some question for about 1 hour, or not 1 hour, like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and you're stuck on that question, and then you think that, okay, I should see the solution of that. If you see the solution of that video, then it's okay that you have invested the time, you have understand the problem. But maybe there is no video on it, and then you don't understand the problem, you read the tutorial but it's very hard, and then you just leave it out. Then because you have leave down that problem, you have wasted that 20-30 minutes and you have not gained any knowledge. Even if that problem arises somewhere else in the future, you cannot solve that problem. And thus it's always beneficial to complete any problem if you have started it, because that will give you an assurance that you have known some problem, some logic, which might help you in the future. Because if you just leave it out, that problem will ghost you in future maybe. So there can be a lot of mistakes, I'll tell you maybe in this video, or you can reach out to me in my Telegram channel or my YouTube comments also. You can comment it out. I reply to most of the comments. Sorry if I don't reply some comments. But the next thing here is, suggest for the beginners mistakes they shouldn't make. These are the mistakes. There can be a lot of mistakes. Everyone has their mistakes. But try to do virtual contest as much as you can. They helps you to get into that zone. If you just write down 2 questions and try to solve them, but if you make a timer, then you will have some more focus on solving those problems. How to start off with competitive coding? So start off, I think so that in terms of YouTube, because there is a lot of YouTube videos right now, you can just Google out and find out a ton of YouTube videos on competitive coding. So you can start from there, understand the syntax, understand some data structures and algorithm knowledge, and just deep down into competitive coding. You don't have to understand and learn everything, because you will learn in the process of understanding or doing competitive coding. Then tell us about a time when things didn't go the way you want to at work, such as project they failed, and how you passed over it. Okay, so recently I've done an internship, and there are a lot of times that I have stuck on some bug, or maybe in competitive coding also, because I do not know everything, and then it will take a lot of work. Like yesterday only, I have to submit one project, and I do not know. I have spent like the whole day finding out that bug, the whole day, and I know that I do not know that I just lose all the hope that I will not be able to find out the bug, because I have spent like around 6 hours to finding out what the problem is. I've been searching the internet whole, but I have not found out the solution, and thus it makes me very sad that why this is happening. But this is the part of the journey. You learn something out. If you spend 6 hours understanding that thing, then you will never forget that bug if that occurs somewhere else in your life, because bugs will occur. Okay, things will go wrong every single time, and thus if you are strong, if you can devote 6 hours or like a more to finding out that bug, then you can do anything in your life. Okay, just I mean it. I not mean that I can do it anything, but I know that you can do anything. The next thing is, I am an intermediate state of competitive programming, but I forget the important concepts. I am not able to remember all of what I applied in a particular program. How should I overcome it? So I do not also know everything. Okay, no one knows everything, but you have to get the basics. Basics are important. Also, what I have told in every video of my, if you go on my YouTube channel, I always encourage my subscribers or my members to take a pen and paper and then start writing down or solving some problem, because that will help you to focus more. If you are just drawing in the air, then it's very not focusing, and thus you can just lose track of what you're thinking. and you are not thinking or finding out more patterns. If you write down on a paper, then it's very beneficial. Second, you don't have to solve every single question. Okay, you just try to improve yourself. Maybe that you are on a 1600 level on code forces, and then you try to solve a 2500 problem. Then, like, I don't think so that you will get that problem in just one grasp, because it will take you some time to understand and then solve it out. Maybe you can, but maybe you cannot. If you take like 20 problems, then maybe in like around 10 or 8 or like 7 problems you can solve, but not all problems of to like 2500. So don't have to like think that you are intimidated. Yeah, I'm also intimidated, but the thing here is you have to try to improve your rating one understep. Then I always have a naive approach towards a problem. Even though I know some algorithms, I'm not able to implement the right answer at the right time. How to improve that? Now a good question. And that I do not know how to implement what particular type of algorithm I have to implement on a program. Now there are first two reasons why I do not know. The first is you don't have much practice, so you do not know like how to implement it out, how to find out the patterns. And the second is like there might be a thing that you do not like concentrate on the problem, and you do not have much taste. And also the thing here is like the question statement might be very difficult, you not understand it. But the solution which I can give you is like you have to practice obviously, but I do not talk about practice much, because everyone tells that you have to practice and practice and practice. And yes, you have to practice, there is no other way around of practice. But they do not tell you anything else, they just told you practice. And there is something that there is smart work and there is like hard work is there. I know that hard work is there, and I do a lot of hard work. But in this course of journey which I have, because I'm in last year in college, hard work is not always the best answer. Okay, hard work is 90% or 85% the best answer, but it's not 100% the best answer. And the best answer is smart work. And you have to do smart work because it will help you. And do not get out like burst out, like you not get burned out, because if you burn out, then you will not start the work next day. You cannot be consistent. If you like work for 10 or 15 or 20 hours straight in one day, then you not might be like able to work the next day. So just divide it, be consistent, and be focused. So the answer for this is, what you can do here is, there is one thing which I have heard somewhere, I do not remember, but they told me that there are some basic concepts, there are some basic solution for most of the problems, which means that there are some basic algorithms like binary search, sorting out, then dynamic programming. So you know that there are like some 10 or 15 concepts which you can apply on a lot of problems. So try to impose that algorithm on that problem and think that can you solve this problem using this algorithm. Maybe you have some problem. Now think twice to yourself that can I solve this problem using binary search? Can I solve this problem using dynamic programming? Is there some hint? Is there some way I can implement this algorithm or this technique to this problem such that I can get the solution? And there are a lot of ways. You have to practice, you have to find out patterns, and then you have to write down the problem statement. You have to like understand it, feel it, the problem, what they are trying to ask, how you can find it out, and with time you will understand. The next is, what are some resources that you can suggest for this? Now there can be a lot of resources that are out down, like they're out there, but the main here is, I think so, the main is YouTube only, because on YouTube there are now a lot of content creators, and like competitive coding is on a boom. So you will learn a lot on YouTube, because YouTube, in 10 minutes, if you invest 10 minutes on YouTube on seeing a video, then it's guaranteed that you will understand some bit of it. On Geeks for Geeks, or if you see some tutorial, then it's not always assurance that after reading out that tutorial you will get some things, because there is no proper explanation. There is proper explanation, but the tutorialist might have written the solution according to his or her convenience, and the person who is reading down the tutorial might not understand it well, but maybe with an example, with the code easy explanation, then the person who is reading that tutorial might explain, might understand. But in video there are proper explanations, proper question reading and everything out, so the problem becomes easy to understand, and then you can easily grasp out the concept which was in that problem. So it was easy. And then the resources can be YouTube. Then you can go for Geeks for Geeks. They have a lot of articles, because that's the best place, I think so, after YouTube. Then there can be a lot of problems on different contests and different like platforms, as you can see, Code Forces, Code Chef, Ad Coder, and a lot of them are there. So you can practice on anything else, but I think so that if you want to improve on any concept or any algorithm, or you have to just brush up your like your skills or your language skills, that you do not know all the syntax or the STLs and everything, just Google it out, go on the YouTube and watch 3-4 videos, and then it's okay for you to get started or solve any question. Now, your most challenging competitive coding competition. I think so. Every contest is challenging for me. Every contest is challenging because you'll learn something new from this contest. I'll just salute to all the problem setters and editorialists that the things they have a wide imagination, that they make so much different concepts and problems just from those simple problems only. Like they have some fixed amount of algorithms and like concepts, but they can make a number of problems out there. So, but according to me, the tough competitions or the interesting competitions are those which I have with my friends, because in the worldwide ranking there can be a lot of number of people you do not know, but when you compete in your college or with your friends, that then those contests are very much challenging and interesting according to me. So there are a lot of inter-based competitions which are hosted by our coding clubs, and those competitions are very much fun to me because I love solving problems in those contests, and then I can compare myself or like the see how the different solutions are there with of my friends, and then I can chit chat about that. So that's very much interesting for me. The next problem is there any special trick to understand and grasp the knowledge of the question? There is no special trick. You have to learn by more and more practicing. And the thing here is, if you want to learn, if you want to grasp out the problem, just like read it very carefully. They can every constraint, everything in the problem is important. Maybe you just missed out one thing and the whole problem is ruined out for you. So focus out more on the problem, and then it will become more easy for you to understand. uh, there's no actual logic to understand, like there is no special trick. You just have to understand the problem. You have to like make your problem sink into you, that okay, this is the problem now, how should I solve it? That's the next question. Should we focus on one programming language while preparing, or we should practice more than one programming language? According to me, one programming language is sufficient. That you not required very much programming, like 2 or 3 programming languages. But if you are working on different technologies, like you have to take C++ in competitive coding, or like Java in competitive coding, then you might not, like you cannot code C++ in HTML in developmental life, or in like in ML. So in different concepts or in different context, in like if you are solving or if you are making a dev project, then you might require different languages. If you are solving competitive coding, then you require different languages. So in that context, you requires different languages. But in same competitive coding environment, you don't require, you just need single, like you just require single knowledge and single concept and then single language. That's it. Then uh, the next, I think so, this is the last problem: how to manage time while attending a coding test. Time time is the best asset you get right now, because in college not everyone is earning, and I was not earning too, but I have that like fire in me to earn money and get self like financially independent. And I have been trying on that path now, but the thing here is not everyone is on that path. So I encourage that you should try to manage your time, not only in coding, like in coding competition, but in every aspect of your life, because time is the only like asset you get every day. And then you have to spend it right. Okay, don't waste it out, because if you are like, if you see some person wasting money, then what you call that person, you call that इसके पास तो बहुत पैसा है, like ये क्या, ये बड़े बाप की औलाद है. But now you are doing the same, you have not that money, but you have that time, and now you are wasting it. So if some person who is like using his or her time very efficiently will see you and tell you that इससे कोई time की value नहीं है, इससे कुछ नहीं आता. So why you are creating your image like that? You have to make your image good, not in front of people, but for yourself only. And thus managing time is always essential in coding competitions. How I did was, I try to divide time for every problem, because maybe in coding competitions or in like online interviews which I give, I try to divide the problems in different times. That if I have 2 hours and if I have to solve like 4 problems, then divide it out into like times. Then the next thing here is, what you can do also is try to find out the easiest problem first. It's upon you that you can first solve the hard problems, then go to the easy, or first solve the easy, then go to the hard. But it's according to you, your preferences. But try to solve as many problems as you can. Just don't fix on one problem and just leave out the easy ones. That I'm solving out the hard problem, I have to solve it out first and then solve easy one because they're easy. Nothing is easy in life, and you have to like think how to solve out those problems. And that's it, I think so. The problems or the question is ended, and I've like maybe 14 problems or 14 questions I've like answered that. If you have any problem, you can contact me on my Telegram channel, my YouTube comments, or my Insta page. And thank you for Pehia Foundation to give me an opportunity to like talk to you guys. And if you like this video, you can like comment out in the video description also. I will be love to answering you all of the problems. You can contact me as well. You can like this video, and you can also reach out to me. I will be very happy to talk to any and everyone who reach out to me. I'll try to answer it every single question, but if I miss out, sorry for that. And I'll see you in the next one. But this is not the final conversation we might be having. Maybe we will be having a lot of conversation, and I have a lot of stories to tell you. And they are, or just before ending, I'll tell you one story. Maybe in first year when I just entered the college, I was a very studious person. Okay, I try to study as much as I can, because I think that hard work cannot be beaten. Okay, you just have to do hard work, and then you will be best. When my roommate entered, I was studying in the first day on the college, and he was like, shit, मैं कौन सी रूम में आ गया, मैं डिप्रेशन चढ़ेगा. And he always told me that. When I first saw you ना, I was just like, I just got a depression type of thing, that okay shit, यहाँ पे ऐसे बच्चे हैं पढ़ने वाले colleges में जो पहले दिन पढ़ते हैं. And then eventually after first semester, he get a more better grade than me. And the thing here is, because not, you cannot achieve everything with hard work. You have to, because there is no difference. If you just do hard work, what is the difference between you and a donkey? Donkey do more hard work than you. And also I heard somewhere that uh, if if we started to paying if we started paying hard work or more work, then there is no requirement of, like, there are robots coming. So if you are just doing hard work, then that work can be replaced by robots. So your job will be lost in like next 20 years. So try to use your brain. The main brain is the thing which differentiates you from anyone else in this world. So try to use it as efficiently, as good as possible. Try to create yourself, like your presence in the world. Tell everyone that you are here, and you are here to showcase that you are the best. Okay, I hope we meet somewhere and sometimes in this future. uh, and it's happy talking to you, sharing my experience. And thank you for listening to me, if you have been listening to me till now. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one, and keep coding. Bye. everyone has their own stories, everyone